Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. I hope you all are well this fine Friday as we are rolling into the summer season and the sun is out, the sky is blue, the flowers are blooming, and I know this is very exciting for everybody to move into this new season where people will be getting to take vacations and do fun things with friends and family. So very quiet, lovely. Want to say hi to Jennifer McCormick coming on. Great to see you, love. So happy that you're here today, too. And there's Miss Fran P. Happy birthday, Fairy Queen. It's Fran's birthday today. Everybody give her a shout out. Hi, Fran. And there's Miss Iris. Hi, Iris. Thanks for coming. All our friends are coming in. All the beautiful angels of love and light are here today for me and for Daniela and for Kelly and the Sacred Spiral Network. I want to thank you all for being here today. A little just quick housekeeping. We would be so honored and grateful if you would be able to heart, comment, share, tag, subscribe, whatever you're able to do for myself, for Kelly, for the Sacred Spiral Network, which is growing bigger and bigger by the day. We would love if you could go over to her page and give it a like over on the Sacred Spiral Network or a follow. And Miss Daniela, too, is our beautiful guest that I'm so excited to have on here with all of us here today. We're going to have such a fun discussion full of love and lightness and beauty here today. Hi, Stacia. Stacia's here. Yay, good to see you, love. And Stacia had a birthday, too, this week. So happy belated birthday to you, darling, too. Also, Kelly will be back on at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 UK, doing the psychic hour. So she'll be doing readings. So you don't want to miss that. Gives you about a little over an hour to go get some lunch and a little iced tea or a lemonade, and then come back on for the psychic hour with Kelly. So we would love to see you for that too. And also, you don't want to miss Transcend with Debbie every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific too. So, Jennifer, thank you. Oh, that's such a beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comment. That's so beautiful. I was able to give her a message earlier this week, and it touched my heart in the most beautiful way, and just shared love with so many people. So that was such a gift for me to be able. So you're getting feather songs and a touch on your cheek. Oh, yay! It's so beautiful. It makes me so happy. Thanks for sharing that, Jennifer. I also want to say hi to Maggie, who's come on too. Hi, Maggie. How are you doing, darling? Thank you. Thank you. So what an exciting Friday we're going to have here today. You guys have already raised me up and lifted my spirits even higher than they were before. And I've got me a little bit of a sunburn for the first day of summer. So I'm wearing it proudly because I had fun getting it yesterday too. So anyways, my loves, I'm looking forward to chatting with you a little bit here today. I can feel spirit coming in with nice little softness and grace as we come here today before I have Daniela coming to join me too. So, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, change and courage and life and love. It's been such an interesting year. Everybody has learned so much already. We're about halfway through. It's hard to believe when we say, oh my gosh, the year is almost halfway over, And and look at how far we've come, and it's gone by so fast. It seemed like 2023 felt very long and slow, but boy, has 2024 gone by so fast. And yes, indeed, Maggie. And it's just filled us with so much change. It's good change, not always easy change, but it's good change. And I was doing my healing meditation last night, and Spirit always gives a little channeled message at the end. And one of the things that they've said before and reminded us again last night was how important every moment is that we live. Like, there, whether it's full of doing something fun or whether it's just a quiet moment or just doing something that you feel might be boring or dull, it all matters to spirit because we are spirit. So the soul aspect of us sees every minute as important, every second as important, because it's in the space of a very grand now that we may not be able to fully comprehend most of the time. It is in those transcendent moments that we're able to get those little bursts of enlightenment, so to speak. And oh, hi, Mort. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Really happy you're here today. And then this morning, Spirit reminded me of this movie I saw back in the day. It's probably from the 90s, and it's called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And it's based on a true story. Some things have been changed, but the main character's name is Dan Millman. He's a real person. He wrote it. He wrote the book, which the movie was made from. Hi, Christopher James. Good to see you. We've got the male energy coming in here. Good for you guys. Great to see you. We're talking about the peaceful warrior now. So perfect timing. Hello, Alice. Alice is the sparkle queen from Scotland. So happy that you're here. So, oh my gosh. I love our group today, and thank you again for being here. So I was just getting to this movie called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior that's based on a book that's based on a true story, which Dan Millman wrote. Did change a little bit here, but he is a young gymnast who has aspirations of going to the Olympics. And he's very, young and overly confident, you might want to say, not very aware. And he's just kind of living life without much depth of awareness. And then he meets this character who calls himself Socrates, or he calls himself Socrates, who is like a spirit guide to help sort of awaken him and get him to what I want to say is a better place, because he has a motorcycle accident and it shatters his leg. And they tell him, not only are you never going to be in the Olympics, you're never going to be a gymnast again, you're probably never going to walk again, because his leg is full of metal rods and steels and things, putting it all back together. And so he goes into a very dark night of the soul, very deep depression. And he has a battle with his own ego, you could say. And if you know me, like I think of the ego very differently, as not something that's bad that we need to banish or get rid of. It's something that's there to teach us in a very difficult, tricky kind of way. But it is our teacher, and it is something we need to learn to love and embrace and integrate so that we can be our whole self. And reach towards that too. I like to give that a kinder, gentler approach if we can. So, but through the teachings of Socrates and the time spent, he actually is able to compete and win, defying all of the odds, and like, wow, like to that. And this is where we come into realizing that anything is possible. So I bring this movie, because he finds a way to be the hero in his own life. We've spoken about the hero's journey before. You'll see that in many movies, especially fantasy movies. Some of the most common ones are Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. And in this case, he becomes a hero in his own life too. And he learns to move into the present moment where everything is here and now. And there is a moment where Socrates touches him on the back, and he moves into an altered state of awareness. And he starts looking around, and he just sees everything kind of in slow motion. And he sees how everything is interconnected. So he moves into this space where he's out of his personality and fully aware of the interconnected of everything that's around him. He's very kind of scared by this experience afterwards, but he figures it out and he realizes this: there are no ordinary moments. And this was an important lesson that he had to learn among many others. But he learned there are no ordinary moments, and nothing has gone wrong, even though it seems like it is. There's so many moments where we go, what happened there? Why did that happen? This is wrong. This is the timing's wrong. This is off. It's not supposed to be happening this way. But we often, or we will always find at some point in the future the why of everything, how it all came to play. I would like to say the divine creator, the great spirit, is a master storyteller, but we are living the story. And so we don't know what's going to happen. And that gives us so much uncertainty. And even that is an experience in itself to hold and embrace the uncertainty of what's going to happen. How is this all going to work out? Because you know that it's your life and you're trying to live it to your best ability. This is where we say we have this one life. How do we want to live it? Um, One of the other lessons he learns in the movie is three things. Life has three rules, and he calls it paradox, humor, and change. And paradox says life is a mystery. Don't waste your time trying to figure it out. Well, I do believe we're trying to figure some things out, but I understand what he's saying, because there are some things that we just won't until we're off onto the other side, or if we're really, really, really in that space for those brief moments. The second rule is humor. Keep a sense of humor, especially about yourself. It is a strength beyond all measures. I love this one too, because there is a point where I'm sure you all have experienced this, where life gets so, what I want to say is, crazy or mad or chaotic with the different things that are happening left and right, especially when we move into a spiritual awakening. Our experiences start to like rev up and get bigger and bigger. And life is throwing you curveballs left and right. And there's a point where all you can do is stop and laugh, because you realize the absurdity of it all, and the comedic sense of it all too. And it's like, well, why don't we just laugh about it too? Because that's where you can stop and get a breath and take some space from it. Too funny. And the third is change. Know that nothing ever stays the same. And this is where we've talked about, the impermanence of things. And this is what's so hard, because we so want to hold on to the things that make us happy, the things that make us feel safe, the things that feel good, and but they change, and it's beyond our control. It's beyond our own little human will, because the human will is small comparison to the divine will, because there is a plan for us that we're living. It's beyond, it's divine, but it's within the infinity, and the infinity is living itself as us. And isn't that magnificent? Isn't that fascinating to think about it that way? We are part of the cosmos, and we are the cosmos at the same time, is all of us. We are it. We see it. We experience it. We witness it. And it reflects itself back to us. And then you realize it. Not only you are a small part of it, you are the all of it at the same time. And as fascinating as that is, it's um one of the other things that Socrates says to Dan is, you cannot attain happiness, it attains you, but only after you surrender everything else. And I thought this to be very beautiful when it comes to the way of the peaceful warrior, because it is in that surrender that you become in the flow. It doesn't mean you don't try. It doesn't mean you don't keep working towards your goals and following steps. It means you get in the flow with your soul, with your higher self, with the divine, and you realize you're in a beautiful partnership together. You're following as you're guided. And that flow, that surrender to the higher power of you, working together in this harmony like this, really will help to reduce that sense of, uncertainty and anguish and suffering that we all go through. It is an inherent part of life, and it's through the suffering that we gain depth, of humanity and compassion and empathy and really connect with all of humanity too. But we can also, and I only use this word when necessary, should believe and know that the happiness is for us. It is a birthright. It is something that is inherent within us. And we certainly have the right to experience lots of that too. But again, when we get into that flow of life, all of a sudden we see so much more that we couldn't see before. And we can receive those gifts and we can receive the wonder of how everything is playing out on our behalf. And isn't that a beautiful thing? He goes on to talk about fear and courage. And he says, your fears are not walls, but hurdles. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the conquering of it. And I don't think he uses conquering in a abrasive way, but it is that very difficult teacher that teaches us who we are, what you're made of. That's that very hard coach that never gives you the kudos, right? But drives you beyond your limit because you want to prove to that coach you're even better, than what he or she isn't willing to give you, right? And it pushes you past those fears, those hurdles. And over time, we're all realizing, hi, Krish, that we're so much stronger and so much more capable than we ever thought possible. And we are indestructible because we are a spirit, right? But the fear, understand, the fear is always going to be testing us to see where we can get to the next level. And as I've said before, it will show up as doubt. It will show up as logic. It will show up as reason. It will convince you of things that may not be true because it's pushing you to go further within yourself and within your understanding, moving through the layers of illusion and of perception till you get to those higher, finer frequencies of truth, which of course will all come back to love. So please, my dear friends, as I'm getting so excited to have Daniela coming in, remember that you are love and that you are beauty and that you are hope and that you are divine. First and foremost, always have been, always will be, and are now in this one moment in time. So thank you. Can we please bring on Daniela Florio? I'm so excited.
Hey.
Hi, Daniela.
Hello.
How's my beautiful friend today?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm still getting used to my new hairstyle.
I love your new hairstyle.
Changes, yes. So you've been saying quite a lot, and I was trying to make some mental notes about the beautiful movie that you've been talking about, but also this journey, the journey that is not just external, but it becomes as a reflection internal as well of who we really are. And it is to do with what life is about. It's to do with the conquering of love and the conquering of fear to transmute it into love. And this is, if you like, you got a positive and a negative. You've got the negative being, say, for instance, the fear, which is not really a negative, because thanks to the fear that we actually can, once we work through those challenges. You were talking of the dark night of the soul, which I'm pretty sure most of us, if not all of us, have gone through at some point in life, where we've been learning about our journey and the higher power and the spirit. And it is so important. This afternoon I just bumped into a YouTube video of a lady who had lost her dad. And she was really, really desperate to wanting to find out whether life moves on, and there is life beyond. And, you know, she went and saw someone. And I believe that actually there is some sort of divine timing in all of that, because she didn't get a reading with the confirmations that she needed. And so she is now, it's as if Spirit has opened a door for her to go and keep researching. Because truthfully, it's not to do with what can be proven outside, but it's like our journey back to the source, which resides within ourselves, which we can only find through most times, very challenging times. I'm talking about trauma. I'm talking about the death of someone loved in our lives, ill health that, you know, proves very, very challenging. And that's where the spark, the divine spark, ignites that hunger of knowing where that love goes. And it's that connection that comes from the heart, and it expands so warmly that there is no other proof needed other than reconnecting to who we really are and where do we really belong. Where do we belong? Where is it that we're coming from? Who is it that we are connecting to? And so I just love, you know, the fact that they are still able to produce movies where people can learn lessons out of that. It's, you know, it's done in a way. I mean, what about the movies Ghost, for instance?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is a classic, isn't it? When we talk about you know, having a challenging life, and then by coincidence we actually come to meet someone that can open those doors for us, and those are the doors to a new level of existence. And that is what we in our phraseology, in spirituality, we call it as ascension. Ascension is not being lifted up physically, but it's being lifted up into our soul, so reconnecting and making more sense of life by being able to see things from a different perspective. And I'm linking in, when I'm saying this, to what you're saying about laughing at ourselves when things happen. Because we will have gone through all of exactly that to be able to recognize, okay? To recognize like a mirror. Oh, I've been there already. You know, and it's like I like to bring this example when I talk about, hello Debbie, hello everyone. Actually, sorry, I'm just saying
No, Debbie.
It's okay. They keep
Nancy and Carol have joined us too. And Debbie just got here. Hello, all the beautiful ladies.
And so I was saying, it's a beautiful thing that when we talk about raising vibration and, you know, be positive, be smiling, you know, it's not that we don't suffer anymore. It's not that we don't see the hardship or experience, you know, challenges in life. It's just that we know that this is yet again another step to get over in life. And as we have already awakened to the presence of Spirit and the who we really are, that we start looking at things from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, from a more positive perspective, right? It's like when someone gets ill and they tell themselves and to the others, oh, I'm always ill and I'm always ill, like, poor me, poor me. And then comes through so much transformation in life that, you get ill and you say, like 20 years later, after you've learned so many hard lessons, oh, I'll be all right tomorrow, let me see, what do I need to do? Oh, I've got an appointment later on. You are a completely different person because you've seen life has pushed you so hard that you had to work harder to come back up. Okay. And so being positive happens even in moments that are still challenging, because you feel the vibration, and you know that if you stay positive and you think positive, this too shall pass. And also showing gratitude, it's one of the very important elements of love and positivity, that we actually attract more of that in our life. In the first place, have you ever tried on a day when you're not feeling really well yourself and you walk down a road, and then as you come across strangers, you smile at them? Fake it until you make it. Smile, even if you don't want to, and you will receive a smile back, and people will say, oh, she's smiling, let me smile back. And then you feel like, oh, she smiled back to me. Oh, that was good, and suddenly the dark cloud around you just dissipates, because you were faking it until you actually smiled, being very pleased that someone saw you, and so lifting the vibrations is ever so important of these days and age. And the other thing that is ever so important is grounding. But it's to do with, I'm so big about, I keep talking about grounding a lot these days, because you see, with grounding, we are more balanced within ourselves. And once we are balanced, we can think straight, and our body doesn't get ill as much. The immune system becomes stronger. And so it's holistically, we are so much better person for that. And therefore we can stay more positive because of that. Yes. And we will attract people in our lives that are on the same wavelength, because it's all about energy and vibration. And then you were talking about infinity, which is a symbol that I learned to love so many years ago when I came across it the first time. And it was like, that made me think so much. And then I came across, I don't recall who mentioned this, but they're saying, it's a saying, that energy cannot be destroyed, cannot be created nor destroyed, because there was that initial spark eons of time ago, and then suddenly, you cannot stop it. You can just create and create and create. And so life as is such, I like what Alice is saying, a smile a day keeps the doctor away. Absolutely.
That it does.
It really does. Oh, and so Iris is also saying, so true, a smile always makes my day, and a smile
everybody is relating.
Yeah, everybody's relating.
Everybody is relating. Yeah.
It's true.
Everything you're saying is so beautiful, Daniela. Thank you for all that. And I did want to tell everybody, they may already know you, but for anybody who doesn't, Danielle is a beautiful medium and a healer and a speaker.
and full of wisdom and a beautiful channel. You've got your group, the School of Conscious Evolution. You work with crystals. So you're really out there serving spirit in the most beautiful and profound way of helping to create more love. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're attracted to each other, because we're on that same mission of bringing people together for love.
Yes,
and so I'm so happy and excited that you're here with us today.
Absolutely. And I was also very excited to be here because, you know, we have worked together in the past, and we find that with our energies, we just come together and just raises the energy, and it raises the happiness of the people that join us. And it's like a family, you know, like a soul family. You know, and so it's very important. It's very important to keep it in the day. Another concept that I have been coming across lately, I was listening to a beautiful show by sorry, the name came and it went, Eckhart Tolle, and the power of the now. You know, and that reconnects beautifully to the power of the infinity and the infinity sign. And the power of love, which is also never ending. It's always there and it's always available to us. We just need to learn to dip into it, as long as we keep present to ourselves, to the moment. Because it was saying, you know, the past does not longer belong to us, because the moment we want to try to manifest the future, actually it was a moment ago and that's become the past. And so we get stuck in this we're getting stuck in this
infinite loop. We get stuck in the infinite loop.
Absolutely. And guess what we miss? We miss the now. We miss that.
And it's all one now. You're right. It's all one big now, and that's fascinating. And this is where you get are we manifesting, or are we actually predicting the future? Are we getting a knowing of what's going to happen, and then we think we're manifesting it, but yet, you know, so then you're getting a little bit of chicken or the egg thing too. But there's the paradox, and we're like trying to figure it out, and we just go.
Exactly. It is indeed. It's a paradox. And that's exactly what he was talking about. He's saying it's the paradox, you know, of it all. And there are a lot of writers out there that are trying to raise the awareness of the power of love in whichever way and format, and the way they are describing it. It's the way they have experienced it. And so by doing these chats, these lives, for instance, tonight with you, with thanks to the Sacred Spiral Network and yourself, Jennifer, and our intention is the one of bringing up awareness into people's lives, hoping to help them through their awakenings and all the things that can be made slightly differently to improve their quality of life. Because yes, we are spirit, but we also have a temple, which is our body. And so if we look after ourselves as human beings, then we can also learn to look after ourselves as a soul. But until we don't understand how to learn to love ourselves, you know, there will probably be still a little bit of negativity out there. And one of the biggest challenges is actually it's easy to love someone. I mean, generally speaking, okay, there are always challenging situations, okay, of course. But the most difficult thing is to prioritize ourselves and to love ourselves. and be positive about ourselves. I know way too many people that can be very positive and supportive, and when it comes to them, they just don't bother, because, and I always try to remember them when I come across, the clients that come for healing, and, like, how can you give from an empty bucket if you don't start, looking after yourself?
Yeah.
But, like, I've had a few young mothers coming to see me because their lives has changed for one reason or another. And they just give and give and give. And then people forget that we, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally, we are like batteries, and we do run out. So,
Yeah.
and what they're trying to do now, I can leave the baby with my mother-in-law, or I can come to you as soon as I drop off the child at school, I can come. And, and they managed to cut some space, an hour to themselves, to recharge, to offload, okay, emotionally, because of life as such, and reprogram themselves. And I've used these 3 words because this is what we need to do with the crystals: clear, recharge, and program. Because we are energy, exactly like the crystals, like any, like nature. Anything that is living on this planet is made of energy. And the energy we produce will be the result of how we interact with the others and how we look after ourselves. And so then we can start talking about love. And love comes as a lot of work put down with that fear. It's an ongoing work. Someone recently said to me, I said, well, it was, I said, there may be, the need to some support, don't be afraid to ask for help. Oh, I've done that already. That's been done. And I go like, okay. You cannot force people. All you can do, you can actually try. There are people that are trying to awakening as well sometimes, but they don't quite get it. And this is all in divine timing. We, myself, yourself, Debbie, everybody else around here, Kelly, we kind of go about our day and we bump into others for a reason, and vice versa, of course. But, because of the work we do, people will click and will say, oh, I've come across this energy and it makes me feel different. It makes me feel better. What is it that they have that I'm looking for and I cannot find within myself? We are like mirrors. We are light. We are carriers of light. Some people say, oh, light is love. So why do you want to say light and love? I don't know. We just do. One has to do with energy, visual energy, and love is to do with emotional. And this is why I would use them as different things. But people will become attracted to any of us because of that particular energy that we emanate. And so I do not believe in such a thing as competition or competitors when it comes to spirituality. I believe there is a thing of the past. I'm talking about a few decades ago, because what we do here with mediumship these days, it's far, far above and beyond what the original mediumship was meant to do. if you look at Edgar Cayce, for instance, he was a brilliant medium. And he was at the avant-garde. But, you know, he just moved on and he carried bringing the messages of spirit, but he wanted to make the difference to people. And I think then through the following decades, things have changed a bit and they've been structured to the point where, you know, there has been some good basis. But then at the end, I think with the new millennia, we are experiencing, and our Earth is changing the vibrations, okay? And we are physically, in the past 20 years, Mother Earth, because of the influences of the sun and our planetary movements, we have far less gravitational weight on Earth, and people don't know this, and therefore we are automatically physically less grounded. If you add on the top that we are actually busy, life has become so fast comparing to the 70s and 80s that people are all up here all the time. And sometimes I tell, you know, when I, you know, have my client and I say like, did you forget you have feet by any chance? Because you're all up here. It doesn't, you forgot. I can see there is some pedicure being done.
True.
But it's just like as if, you know, we don't feel our feet anymore because we're just do thing, you know, coordinate work, family. And so even more,
that's all very masculine too, is like the thinking and the doing, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong. We absolutely need to do that. But the being, the receiving, the embracing comes into the feminine. And that is why the grounding for both men and women is so important, to get down into the lower chakras too. It's not just the seeing, feeling, you know, and but when we get down into your body, it's embodiment, and then you're experiencing your whole self, all of your energy, and that battery is your nervous system. And like you said, we've got to tackle that first, get that to calm down so that you can move into the healing response. And then you can start doing the rest of the work and discovering the love that is you and so forth too. So very, very true.
And I'll tell you more that basically a lot of people still don't have the Earth Star chakra opened. And that is the funnel through which we connect from our root chakra to Mother Gaia. So the moment that becomes activated, and I had to activate it for a couple of people that have come to see me recently, because they desperately needed this grounding, but they didn't know how to do it. And I said, like, well, you know, I'm going to facilitate this with you because clearly you're more than ready for this. And, you know, and the funny thing about it is that then they experience actually better sleep. They feel calmer within themselves. I bought something recently. I'm not advertising anyone, but I was reading, these are the proven benefits of grounding. Okay, so you have reduced inflammation, restful sleep, reduced stress and anxiety, normalized cortisol rhythm, decreased muscles, you know, tension, and so on and so forth. So by the time we have done all of that, this is when we come back to love, because we've done the groundwork. We provided
literally
our body with what? With the love that we need.
Yeah.
And that love is self-care.
Beautifully said. It is. It absolutely is.
And you see, Jennifer, I'm not this very pragmatic, actually, when I talk about, I'm not very pragmatic when I talk about spirituality. But I think sometimes we really need to bring it back to basics for a lot of people, because sometimes we tend to use a bit of a jargon and people get lost. They get used to hear about that, and then well, it's something.
Mort is looking for help with the Earth Star chakra. Yeah.
Star chakra, yes. Well, how you open it is energy work that I do on my clients, so it cannot necessarily be explained. It's something that you learn through years of experience, and it's a mix of, I do crystalline Reiki, so I utilize the power of certain crystals with Reiki energy, and working through my spirit guides as well, and spirit healer. So it's a bit of a complex work with that. So perhaps you may want to talk to someone locally to you if you want to, if you want to go personally, or you can contact us on a later stage. But the thing is that, you see, you need to I wanted to be practical tonight, because we get carried away sometimes with the jargon. And
I agree with you. Yeah.
And don't understand necessarily, oh, she made it.
Hello, Melinda made it. Yeah. I know Debbie's very big on the Earth Star chakra too. She has a meditation that she has on her page for that too. That might be helpful. That's easily accessible as well too, to help people with the grounding. I'm very big on central channel breathing. So if you inhale through the top of your crown and then bring it down the center of your body, and then exhale it down into the earth, either through your base or through your feet, and just keep learning. Eventually you'll be able to feel the energy of that. At first you may not feel anything, but you've got to keep practicing it. It's on Spotify. Thank you, Debbie. And you'll be able to feel it moving down. So we got to get you down in the body, because most people, they're like you said, Daniela, the energy is all up here, and you can feel it too, and it will give you a headache after a while. So you got to bring it down to your feet, down into the earth too, and then get in touch. And that's going to activate those deeper levels of spiritual awakening as well too, for people too. And just to give you a heads up on that, but that's a good thing, because that's going to get you closer and closer to your divine purpose and to experiencing the love that is you as well too. It's really important. And yeah, and I love what you said about the mothers too, because they're giving until they get so depleted, and especially if they're nursing mothers too, the babies are taking all of the nutrients out of them too. So the self-care is so important. So we need to mother ourselves as well to take care of those nervous system, get your vitamins, get your fresh air, get your exercise, get in touch with nature, all of those things. You actually will have more to give from the overflow instead of from your reserves too. That is absolutely very, very, very important.
And guess what, Jennifer? There is joy in giving. When your battery is full, when your cup is full.
Isn't there?
There is joy in giving.
Instead of looking for the joy, you'll be experiencing it because you have filled yourself up first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very true.
So, it's to do with, Iris, she's done the Debbie Romero's.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. Yes, absolutely. And so, it's very important. And you were talking about the masculine divinity as having been particular for the past millennia rather than centuries. But now we are having a feminine energy coming in, which is softer, which is exactly more self-loving and more compassionate. And I have had channelings from Juanin and Mary Magdalene in regards to this. But there is also the descension onto earth of Christ consciousness. We are not talking about Jesus. We are talking about a masculine energy that is going to be the holding partner to the feminine energy, which is going to be the major energy which we are experiencing. And how do we see that? Because people are awakening. There have been strikes, there have been demonstrations in the streets all over the world for different subjects, when topics, when things I don't want to talk about, like become, go into details. But, when there is war and there are injustices, then people are awakening, and they will fight whichever way they can to show that love and that compassion. That would have not happened like a century ago. People would have just got on with their lives. And so this is how we are seeing the rise of the female energy, that snake energy that keeps raising up as we reconnect Kundalini, Kundalini energy, that is actually the one that becomes a spiral, and it does have connections, by the way, with the human DNA, okay, which does have the spiral shape, okay, and it is activating what it is called by the scientists the junk DNA. Because 2/3 of our DNA, the scientists still don't know what it is for.
Don't know what it is. Yeah.
And it is exactly with the awakenings, by the transmutation of that DNA, that it's of divine creation, we have so much more potential. We have no idea. When we talk about using the brain, humans can only use 2% of their brains. So we need, how can we develop that? For one, I know that I personally, I don't know you, Jennifer, but I know I can do a lot more things because I'm connected to spirit. And I call them miracles, because it takes me about a couple of days to manifest what I need by just connecting to that. Because I'm living it, I'm feeling, and I know that not everyone can do it, but I've done a journey to get here. And trust me, I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask to go through all the trouble, 11 operations in hospital, and all of this, and I feel that I have so much joy and love to give to others, and I really, really want to help. And I am constantly on the lookout to try and make that. I always say, if I can make the difference to one person each day, I've achieved, my purpose. Because my purpose is the one to facilitate as a teacher. I am a teacher by trade, secondary school teacher, or as you would call it in the US, a college teacher. But I actually have become a spiritual teacher because I've learned some people say my learning has been life learning, school of life. And I have that as well. I've got a degree in that as well, if I may say. Because I am at the point in time where I feel, yes, there is free choice, but I feel that Spirit has created such a setting for me that wherever I turn around, if I follow that, my life is becoming easier, if I can say that. Whereas I remember in my 30s,
you're in the flow.
Yeah, basically. And this is what I was going to talk about. In my 30s, when I didn't know yet the purpose of my life, oh my gosh, I was like swimming against the mill and the flow, and without moving of an inch, and I was completely exhausted, and I didn't understand why. Whereas now, because I have awakened and I can see clearly what's going on, then I say, oh, okay, all right, so this is what's happening. I think I might have to have a look into it. You see, the difference is in acknowledging that fear equals ego. Love equals divinity. If I think I know better and then things go wrong, then I create a
Hold on, we've frozen just a little bit.
there you go, there you go.
See if we can. There you are. There you are. You're back. Whew.
I could see myself in the background, but so as long as we allow the ego to interfere, then we will always swim against the flow. The moment when we allow ourselves to let go, but let go for real, that's when the life, you can unlock that gate that allows the flow of spirit and your purpose of life to be shown to you. So swimming upstream is actually your ego doing the work. You're not switched on. You haven't tuned your radio onto higher energy frequencies that are telling you that doesn't feel good. Do you think you should let go? No, I want to keep going. I need to money. I want to do this. I want to, but no, things are falling apart. And no, but I can do this, you know. And then you come to a point in your life where when you go like, oh, that didn't work. Probably there is a different way of doing it. And then maybe someone calls you and they give you the solution that you were asking for. But because you challenged the thing that went wrong, you didn't say, no, I'm going to do it the way I'm saying it because I am right. And this is what I want. Hello? It's crazy. And then you go through, and then, you know what the funny thing is? Like, you do it again and again and again.
And again and again.
You know, imagine spirit sitting there by the side going like, okay, carry on, carry on. No, because and then when you finish a lesson, there's another one coming about, and then spirit is there saying, okay, yeah, but I told you. No, but because of that. Whereas, you know, I had all of this happening for at least a decade, you know, until I actually hurt myself enough to understand that actually there is a different way of doing things. And if you could allow that to happen into your life, then you will see how beautiful life is. You will allow spirit and you will start working with the divinity. And so you can ask for help for the highest good and the good of all to come in your aid. Help me with my life purpose. Show me how I do this. You know what? Melinda's laughing. It's like, you know, life can be so different if we can take it in a different direction. If we could just listen. And then spirit will go like, thank God she got it, you know. But, you know, when people say, when life will change, I need a change. Well, once you will be truly on your knees, that's when life will change. This is where you will get your soul awakening, your awakening, the reconnection to spirit, and then the light descending upon you, and the peace. And then you will say, okay, let's do it your way, not mine. And this is the power, the true power of love that can finally descend into our own heart and soul. And then when you can start feeling that the powerful love energy in your chest. This is when you feel like, you know what, I'm home, I'm fine. It doesn't need to go my way, my ego way. It can go,
Mm-hmm.
The universe way. And guess what? As long as you follow your gut instincts, which is your soul connection, you will never get it wrong. And just think for once, every time you said, I knew it. And that is your answer. Just allow that connection to open up an abundance, a different way of living, an improvement in your life. But trust that spirit has your back. It really does. And I would, really suggest there is a beautiful book, which is The Power of Love and the Course in Miracles, that you can go and read if you have time. And you will learn so much more about the philosophy of love and love against fear, because love and fear, they sit right opposite of each other. You conquer fear, you get love. That's a transmutation. Love is a transmutation of fear.
And I think so beautifully said, beautiful, beautiful, as we're starting to come to a close here. And I think our biggest fears are just being authentic, being vulnerable, being exposed, being seen. The things we want are also the things that we're most afraid of. And that is the journey of self, into self-love, so that we can get beyond that, until you have that confidence, especially when you have that beautiful Kundalini awakening to help build your confidence in yourself, to know that you are a divine human being, spiritual, always, always that beautiful love. And that will move you forward to when all of the little tests that are coming off to the side to test you, who are you, who are you, who are you? You will just keep looking forward, and you'll just say, I'm love, and then move forward from there.
Yes.
Thank you, Daniela. That was so beautiful and so inspirational. It was very trancy for me. I could feel the power of the spirit, and it makes me a little bit sleepy, so I'm trying to keep my eyes open, because of the trance energy, because you were channeling all of that beautiful, beautiful wisdom for all of us that we all needed to hear, and it helps to reinforce things as well too. And what a beautiful, divine, graceful, sacred space that we were able to be in all together here today, with everybody who has joined us, to all of the beautiful angels who have been here today, the ladies and gentlemen. And we are so beautifully coming into that divine masculine and feminine, where we're holding each other. We're getting past this, this constant running, chasing, pushing, pulling, aggression and withdrawal. Those dynamics are starting to shatter away, and we're coming into the holding space now. And it's so beautiful. So if we could all embrace that and welcome it into our lives, I think we will have so much more joy and beauty and love coming in for us. So I know that Kelly has put all your information in the chat box. You can find Daniela on Facebook, and she has her group, the School of Conscious Evolution. She does her own interview podcast show every Wednesday. And we were just talking about the last one, how gentle and powerful it was, right? And so I do feel like today was also very gentle and powerful. And that's kind of our goal, the gentle and the powerful doing a beautiful dance, a harmonic dance together too. Danielle's also on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel, and on Instagram as well. So you're doing all kinds of work. I know you've been a little under the weather, but boy, we couldn't tell, because you were just giving us the best and all of this too. And I want to thank you for showing up for us and for Spirit today. I knew that they would hold you and take care of you too.
Yes. I felt like suddenly I felt this whoosh of energy, and I went like, where is this coming from? But obviously,
I know. I felt it too. I felt it too. I know. I felt the divine was right here next to me. So I knew the divine was right there with you, holding hands, doing this together. So beautiful too.
They wanted to make the point.
Exactly. Look at all of that. So beautiful. So thank you again, Daniela. Thank you to everybody for being here today. I'm so incredibly grateful and blessed at how everybody holds space for each other. It makes me want to cry because there's most beautiful people, whose beautiful souls come on and join with us here every Friday too. Please join Kelly in about an hour and 15 minutes for the psychic hour. And Wednesday, Debbie Romero will be on her show. And you have your show on Wednesdays also, usually 11:30, 12 Pacific time, right in that time frame too. So there's more fun to be had. Next week, I've got Kim Alzareca with me too. I'm so excited. I found her on Facebook. She's all things beautiful and positive, spreading wellness out there and connecting it with spirituality. And she's just putting so much goodness and positivity out in the world that I had to have her on the show. So I'm very excited to have her joining us next Friday as well. I want you to please all have a beautiful weekend, and please remember to let love be your guide. Let it steer you the right way, because it won't take you the wrong way. I promise you that. It is everything that you are, what you are made of, who you've always been and always will be. And may, once again, all of this love and healing that we've created here today and shared here today be spread all across this world and beyond, so that every form of consciousness feels loved. So all my love to everybody. Thank you again, Daniela. Big hugs and kisses to you and to everybody here. If you could stay on with us, I would appreciate it. So thanks, everybody. And thanks for coming on to Sacred Spiral Network, and for all of your love and positivity and comments and sharing. We so appreciate you so much. Bye, everybody. Happy weekend.
Bye. Happy weekend, everyone.